If you have had an experience that cracked you open, may that be a psychedelic ceremony or a tantra retreat or any kind of like altered state experience, then this video is for you. Because oftentimes these experiences, they show us something. They open something within us. They make us feel a certain way. There's a container in which we can feel safe and where we feel alive again after such a long time. But then we return. We return to our old environment and we return to our familiar patterns. And as we return, we kind of like really feel that contraction coming back in. And our nervous system is displaying the same patterns again. And we're not feeling safe again, right? And so we try to fix that. But what I want to communicate in this video is that if you are in this period of returning from an altered state back into your familiar environment, you might actually need to do one thing, which is less. But that is what feels dangerous. That is what feels scary for many. And this is what I want to go into today. So, hey, I'm Virgo, and this is Psychedelic Actualization. We talk about how can we bridge the gap between the psychedelic insight or the insight of an altered state experience and how we're actually living in our day-to-day life, how we're showing up on Monday morning after the retreat. And what I see with many coaching clients of mine is that when they return to their daily life, their nervous system isn't able to hold what they have seen and what opened up in the expanded state experience. And the old environment and the old patterns keep creeping back in and they contract again, falling into old patterns. And I've experienced this myself back in the day when I was having a couple ayahuasca experiences. And I want to share that story a little bit. So these experiences showed me like how open my heart could be, right? How much I could truly love myself. How free and authentically I could express myself if I were to feel that state, that love, that safety all the time. But when I returned to culture, to my ordinary day-to-day, the mind took over again and my system was falling back into old behaviors, protecting myself from danger and really kind of like overthinking of how can I fix this, how can I integrate this, turning the integration journey, turning the healing journey into another task to do. And that led to me being very busy. Having all the things to do, listening to all the podcasts, and really kind of like circling and ruminating upon that journey and really investing a lot into that. But that in and of itself was draining me of energy, and it was protecting me from doing the one thing that was actually needed, which was to feel more, to not avoid what was present, but to actually just slow down. And it's actually the same for many people. I've had a session recently where that was very, very present. Where, somebody came back from a retreat and she really felt that what was needed was more slowness. But slowing down felt dangerous, felt unsafe because of past experiences, because of some trauma. And this is the key thing to address, which oftentimes gets overlayered by our protection mechanism that keeps us small but keeps us busy, right? We're doing all these little things that we think are progressing us along the path of healing and of integration, where what the experience of that altered state, of that retreat, or of that psychedelic experience, what it actually showed us, was that doing less and being more is actually where the transformation is happening. And the challenge is to integrate that into our daily life, where we can feel the contraction, but then we break it open with small moments of realization and openness. where we soften a little bit more to what life has to offer, to what's present within our body and also within our emotional system. We're not bombarding ourselves with the news and the messages on our phone first thing in the morning, but we go for a walk and we just check in with ourselves and with life, and we say, thank you for this gift, of life, for this gift of another day. We're taking a deep breath in and we're feeling and checking in with ourselves and what we need right now before we enter into the chaos of our life, of our work, of our relationships, of everything that's going on. And even then, in these periods throughout the day, we can slow down a bit, and we can take moments where we are actually not doing anything, which might be the most healing thing for our nervous system, where we just lay down on the ground for 10 minutes without trying to do anything. No meditation, no breath work, no compassionate inquiry, no parts work, no, not another podcast, just laying there and looking up and just not doing anything, not needing anything from life, from yourself. And through that, there is a certain sense of openness that gets cultivated, a certain sense of safety that can spring forth from the depth of your being, which is what drags your nervous system along, what really trains your nervous system to hold the capacity for the aliveness and the bliss that you might have experienced in the retreat, in the ceremony, in the breathwork session. Right? So this is just a little message for today, where can you slow down and where can you actually create space for safety so your nervous system can learn to integrate and develop the capacity to hold what it has experienced in this non-ordinary state experience, in this altered state, in this safe container of a retreat, of a ceremony. So if you would like support with that and look at what that part actually needs and how you can integrate that into your daily life, then you can click a link in the video description. I do offer one-on-one coaching. We can have a chat, or you can DM me on Instagram and we can get into a conversation. And if you're curious about more things that hinder real psychedelic integration or integration of an altered state, then you can click the first link in the video description, which is a powerful masterclass that goes into all the ways in which we hold beliefs that hold us back from actually slowing down, from actually integrating our psychedelic experiences. All right, much love.